Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing post what happened in the last video and what everyone would have seen with the quests. What is going to be happening with the lore of Apex Legends moving in to Season 6. I'm just going to be going through some of my theories today, what I would love to see, some stuff that I kind of expect to see, but also things that are probably not going to happen because this is just going to be a speculation video of my thoughts and theories of Apex Legends Season 6. The quest has done an incredible job of setting up what we can expect to see in the next season, and I'm excited. What did you think of the quest, first and foremost? I really enjoyed it. I know it was quite simplified, obviously, just with the sort of prowler enemies for all of the missions, but, it was a really great base to build on, and I think it's only going up from here. Especially now that I've started getting into Titanfall 2 more, I'm very excited to see where the story for the whole universe goes. Now, I wanted to start with where we're going with Revenant's character, Revenant and Loba's relationship, and what that's going to lead to. They obviously have been teasing the new map. Ash at the very end of the quest saying "Welcome to Olympus." We're going to somewhere very special to Lifeline and Octane, their home, and that's, I think, going to be the new map for Apex Legends Season 6. We're going to be visiting their home, and it's going to be quite tough for them going to somewhere very personal to them. But for Revenant and Loba, they're off almost on a completely different mission, and in my opinion, I'm very much wondering whether Revenant is being fully honest with Loba. He seemed quite vulnerable in the piece that we would have seen in the quests, in the dialogue, but we can't see cutscenes. It's only text, so it's very difficult to infer whether there's any truth behind what he is saying. And Bangalore said that, obviously she doesn't really trust anything he's saying. Loba seems quite unsure as well, to be honest. I believe that there is maybe going to be an element of doubt in Revenant, and he is not telling the full truth. There is going to be something hidden under there. And very interestingly, obviously, Ash being built by Loba for, maybe was it the purpose to fight Revenant? Is that why she was being built again? How did Loba even know of Ash's existence? Ash obviously in the Titanfall 2 game, an Apex Predator herself, so clearly extremely strong. Some people believe that she's going to be the next legend in the game. Is she going to be confronting Revenant head-on in the lore? That's a question. Will she team up with Revenant to help take down, his source code? That's also an interesting potential angle that they could be going with this. Obviously, if you tie it all into Crypto's story too, they are watching him. The bunkers revealed that in the last one, that there is one head person at the top of this that is watching over him in the games, that know who he is. And I have a feeling in Season 6's story we're going to get the identity of the person at the top of all of this, the one name that we are going after, the Palpatine of the universe. Because if you look back at Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, there wasn't much hints of the Emperor in that film, in the same way that Apex Legends Season 5 just sort of have hints of what's going on in the higher ups. As we move into Season 6, which is effectively going to be your Empire Strikes Back, we're going to get the character. I don't think we're going to see much of them in the actual storyline. I just think we're going to get the identity, and then going forward to maybe Season 7 or 8 is going to be our Return of the Jedi, where we get to see the big character, the one with the most control that we don't know yet, coming into play. And it may not necessarily be someone we know yet, it might be someone we know. There could be a lot of deception going on in this game, and with the fact that all of the legends are on slightly different paths at the moment, it's really interesting. Crypto obviously being hunted down by the person at the top. You have Lifeline and Octane going home for the Apex games, which will have its own emotional weight to it. Pathfinder still trying to find his creator, and that brings its own sort of questions. It didn't really come up in the quest at all, which I found quite interesting. Pathfinder was very much sidelined for it. Even sort of Mirage got more to do with it, and I found it interesting that Pathfinder was sort of sidelined for the quests. Maybe they are saving him for when things start to build up maybe the person at the top of all of this who's spying on crypto has something to do with the creation of Pathfinder. I think they may be leaving it for that, because over the next season they're going to be expanding on Bangalore. That is almost confirmed to be happening, I think, which is really great. I said in the last video, I was very, very pleased to see that Bangalore witnessed that final conversation between Revenant and Loba, because it thrusts her straight into the center of the problem that is brewing here, and the situation. She's now going to be impossible to keep away from this moment. And if we tie it back in with how it fits with Crypto and Watson and Caustic as well, Crypto, Watson and Caustic, their relationship is in a very peculiar situation now, because Crypto being accused of being a liar, Caustic being the actual liar, and Watson's sort of being caught in the middle, because she's building up this quite close friendship with Crypto, as she would have helped build the head of Ash. But then at the same time has Caustic as like a father figure. But you imagine that Crypto and Caustic are definitely going to butt heads. So narratively, we're almost at like a Captain America Civil War kind of situation, where a lot of the legends aren't really going to be on speaking terms as much. Now, one thing that's sort of being left at the side of all of this, and one thing that I think gets forgotten now that the direction we're moving in, is the Shadow Revenant. Obviously, Wraith's portal opened the world to the Shadow universe in the Halloween edition, which is now canon, so we're working with it. And where does that go next? Because obviously the version of Wraith in our timeline will be different to the one in the Shadow timeline. The Shadow timeline is its own separate entity together. They had to pull Ash's headpiece out of the Shadow universe timeline to bring into this one. So first question really is, who put the components for Ash's head? Who buried them deep in the timeline of another universe, effectively? Did Wraith do it, or someone else who would have had technology like her has to have been able to transfer between dimensions? And at the moment, and the only character in the Apex games is Wraith, but there's more characters in the universe that will have the potential to do that. So we need to find out who would have done that, because if you look at in the Titanfall game, in Titanfall 2, and there's going to be spoilers for it throughout, unfortunately, Ash is defeated in that. So is her wreckage sort of dug up, and someone's tried to reassemble her, but someone's taken the headpiece and scattered it away. There has to be a reason for that, and I have a feeling it's got some more stuff to do with Wraith and maybe her past than is being let on, because obviously she is the character that is our through world to the universe. Although it's technically canon, so we have to use it as a reference. If you think back to the Halloween trailer, Pathfinder goes through the portal. Wraith says, "That's not my portal." So where did that portal come from? Because that was the one in that trailer that connects these two universes. And going forward, one thing that could be cool that we're getting is maybe even like a Thanos level twist with Avengers Endgame. So potentially this Revenant in our current timeline is actually wanting to just have it all ended, and will succeed with that, with Loba and Ash and Bangalore, and those four will go off on a mission together to get that fixed and sorted and end it for Revenant in the true world. But then the Shadow Revenant, the one who is in control of his own universe, the one who maybe didn't go through the same glitch that the current Revenant we play as in the Apex games has. Maybe he, Shadow Revenant, still only experiences death once and then moves on, and he's at the height of his power. Therefore, he comes into our universe to take over that as well. So maybe the fight won't be with real Revenant. Maybe he will be killed off, but Shadow Revenant will come across, meaning that they can then keep Revenant in the game of Apex. Because, if they were to take the character out completely, it would be quite an interesting situation for fans, especially Revenant mains. Because if you think about it, they've pigeonholed themselves a little bit with the writing, because you can't really kill off characters, because that would involve taking them out of the games. And there's players who have put a lot of time into these characters and who main them, and it would actually affect competition level play if you were to take them out of the game and out of the story. So you have to be really careful with that. But an interesting way they could do it is killing off the real world Revenant and having the Shadow Revenant enter our world to try and, take it over. 10 times more powerful than the Revenant we already know. And then he goes into the Apex games so that we can keep Revenant actively in the game. That would be a really interesting direction to take it in, especially because if you think about it, Revenant was able, through Caustic's help, to hack into Crypto's drone. What about, and this is a theory off the fly, this would be crazy if this was the truth, real Revenant's killed off, Shadow Revenant comes into the real world, and he is the one pulling the strings right at the top. He is the one that is watching Crypto that Mila tells him is, watching him. It's actually Shadow Revenant who has control of the Apex games in the real world as well, and it's his beginning of trying to come through and take it over. Obviously, this would be a crazy theory if true, but I would love to know what you think about that. This is just sort of a wild frontier for theory and analysis of just the information and data we've got so far to work on. Maybe there's a bit of Apex lore that I completely missed out on that explains away all of this. Another interesting question, sort of as we bring this to a close, is why was this done underneath Slum Lakes? The Ash was there. Why was she there? Like, her body was there. So Ash's body is under Slum Lakes on Kings Canyon in our regular timeline, but her head was scattered across in artifact pieces in the Shadow timeline. Now, if you think about the charge towers, because the charge tower is built into Ash, is it sort of theoretically saying that every time you use a charge tower on the map, you're sort of channeling Ash's powers through you to charge up your ultimate? Because that would be very interesting, because it seems like the power's being drawn from her, or is she drawing from the power? They are using, Wraith's got those dialogue lines when she goes near charge towers. It's about how it's affecting the island. It almost feels like they are harvesting the power of the island. And it's the same thing that's happening on World's Edge with the Planet Harvester, which was introduced in Apex Legends Season 4. There is resources being drained, a lot of powerful resources being drained on both Kings Canyon and World's Edge. So maybe the Apex games is now moving to a new world because they've already begun harvesting power on the other two maps already, so they need to keep expanding. And this ultimately could be the Apex games as a front for all this power harvesting which is going on behind the scenes, and the games are just something to put as a facade in front of it, which would also be very, very interesting, because Ash is hooked up to that charge tower underneath Slum Lakes all alone, and it's a very deep buried charge tower, so you have to think about how long this has been going on for. And obviously underneath Kings Canyon, we know that there's obviously got to be a complex maze of planning and programming, because Loba discovers it in the Season 5 cinematic trailer for Revenant. His head. Now you've got these charge towers that Crypto's uncovered that are buried deep beneath the map, and now you've got this one which is buried further than all of the other charge towers put together. Now Mila is accessed through the three that Crypto is involved with, and then you've got Ash involved in this one. So where does it all tie in? One thing I want to do is try and go back through the quests as Crypto, get in his drone, and I might try and do that last mission and see if I can do it in drone mode and see if that has any changes, because I think you can use your tactical whilst you're above ground in that final quest, and I want to see what that does if I throw the drone out and put that down through and see if I can find anything additional. But that's all the information we're sort of working with at the moment. We're in a fascinating position with Apex Legends because we have so many questions but no answers, which is I think a great way to leave it at the moment heading into Season 6, because we're all just full of questions. And I'm a massive fan of lore. I'm a big fan of the Halo universe and its expanded lore, and it's just incredible to see it start to come into this game, especially because I'm quite new to it, so I'm sort of discovering the game as the lore is unfolding, and these voice lines that are coming into the game are even better, and I'm sure as we get more of them, it's only going to expand the game even more. I would love to know in the comments what you think about Apex Legends at the moment, where you think the story's going. I've just spitballed a few of my theories here on today's show, so please do let me know what you think about the theories going forward. I'd love to open up the comments as a forum for discussion of Apex Legends Season 6 and beyond, where we are heading in the future. Some of these theories could come to life. Is Ash the Apex Legends Season 6 legend? I actually personally don't think so. The reason why, we have Pathfinder. We just had another, robotic character in Revenant come out in Season 4, which is fairly recent. That it was in 2020 that Revenant came out. And we have never had a sort of more tanky character added to the game. And there were rumors of Nova and Rampart as two potential characters being the next two legends. I would more err on the side of Rampart, just from leaks and suspects, because he is without getting into detail because I don't know too much about it and it's obviously all speculation, as a character he's more uniquely oriented, and I think would make more sense to add to the game now because they have not added a brand new tanky character, whereas other styles of legends have had the legends added. So you've got Watson, who's more shielded. You've got Crypto, who's tactical. Octane, who's the sort of fast, more aggressive legend. Revenant, who's the robotic, and Loba for support. We haven't had as much of a shielded character. I mean, you can argue with Watson, so we'll have to see if Ash... I think Ash will be a Season 7 legend, if I'm going to be honest with my thoughts, but at this point none of us know, and I think that's a great thing because it's leading to all this speculation, which is really cool because we are getting involved in this story. The quests have done so much to get us involved in this, all of Crypto's storylines, the Lost Treasures event, the quests, the whole of Season 5 has been great for story, and it's been amazing that they've done quite a lot of this from home as well, so massive props to Respawn for doing that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. To close out this video, we've got a brand new intro graphic and intro song, so I hope you enjoy the new outro. It will be here to stay. Let me know what you think of it in the comments as well, and I'll tune in with you all in the next video.